Hello and welcome back to App4U. So I'm back again with a new video on backtracking this time, right? So I had started the discussion on recursion, and just after recursion, now we are going to deal with backtracking. So here is a problem that is going to discuss how backtracking and recursion can be used to solve this particular problem. Now what is the problem statement? The problem statement here is we need to generate all the string of n bits, right? We need to generate all the possible strings of n bits. How to deal with the problem? How will recursion and backtracking help to solve this problem? You'll see this later in the video. So this will be the code that we are going to discuss. This is the code that actually performs this task, right? But before jumping into the code, let us develop an in-depth intuition behind generating all the string of n bits. So I have already drawn a workout in the very next page, right? So let us quickly discuss what is this all about. So as I said, the task here is to generate all the possible strings, right? So the task here is basically to generate all the possible string of n bits. So we know that if suppose we want to consider 3 bits, right? So if you want to consider 3 bits number, then suppose this is the bit position 1, bit position 2, bit position 3. Now this particular bit can be filled with either a 0 or a 1, right? It can be either be 0 or a 1. Similarly, the second bit here can be either 0 or 1. Similarly, the third bit can also be either 0 or 1. So if we have a good idea or a basic idea of permutation and combinations, we can just conclude that okay, we have 2 into 2 into 2, that is nothing but 2 cube, which is equal to 8 possible numbers, right? That can be formed with 3 bits, right? So if we have a basic idea about permutation and combinations, we will see that okay, yes, there are 8 possible numbers that can be formed with 3 bits, because every bit position we will have 2 choices to make, right? Either we can have a 0 there or a 1 there, either a 0 there or a 1 there, either bit 3 can be 0 or 1. Likewise, the product will be 2 into 2 into 2 choices, which is nothing but 8 choices, right? How can we convert this into a problem? Here is what I have discussed here. So basically, first of all, since I am considering a 3-bit number, right? So the array size will be 3. Okay, this is the index locations of the array 0, 1, 2, right? This indicates the bit 1, bit 2, bit 3. Fine. Now let us develop an outline about what actually we are going to do. Now we know that at every bit positions we are going to make a choice. So if you clearly see this particular diagram, then we see that okay, for bit 1 we had to make a choice, right? Choice in the sense we have 2 paths to follow, that is bit 1 can be either a 0 or a 1. Suppose I took this particular path. So if I followed this path, that is if I took b1 as 0, then I have already completed the task of assigning a value to this particular cell. Now my task is to deal with these 2 cells, right? b2 and b3. So the problem size is reduced to b2 and b3. Now again the problem remains the same. I again have to identify or decide what bit should be allotted to bit position 2, bit 2. So again I have 2 choices to make, right? Either I can give bit 2 value 0 or bit 2 value 1. Suppose I took this path. So if I took this path, means I am deciding b2 to be having value 0. Now the problem again is reduced and it is restricted to b3. So if the problem is restricted to b3, now you have to decide what value can b3 take. So b3 can take either a 0 or a 1, right? Either a 0 or a 1. Suppose initially I took this path 0, 0 and 0, alright? Now once I generated the number 0, 0, 0, now I can backtrack, go back, and suppose I want to take this path again, this path. So what number did we generate? 0, 0 and 1, right? 0, 0 and 1. Now suppose you generated this, now you backtrack at this point. So basically you traverse all the possible paths of this from this. Now you have one more path from this particular point to down the leaves. What is the path? This one and this one, or this and this. So what if I take this path? So if I take this path, so basically I have covered 0. I will take this 1, and now either I can have 0, I can take this part and have 0, 1, 0, or I can take 0, 1 and 1, right? 0, 1 and 1. So you can see that likewise if we do backtrack, okay, then we are able to generate all the possible n bit strings, right? Now can we design a recursion code for this to obtain this? Is that possible? Yes, it is definitely possible. What is the idea? The idea is basically, if we look into the problem, the idea is initially we have n bits, right? What is the outline of the problem? Initially we have n bits, right? The extreme right bit, we are assigning a value, first of all 0. Okay, first of all I'll assign the value 0 to the extreme right bit, fine, and then I will consider the problem to be of size 2. Initially the problem size was 3 because I have to deal with 3 bits. Now since I have already assigned 0 to the first bit, this task is over. Now I have to deal with 2 bits. So again I will call the function and I will pass the value 2, n equal to 2, because I have to deal with 2 bits, right? Now again, what is the next option I can do? Next option is either I can have the extreme right value as 1, and then again I can call the binary function on the remaining 2 bits, right? So if you just follow, what we are actually going to do is, basically we will be having a function binary. You will take the value n is nothing but the number of bits that we are dealing with. Then array of n minus 1 equal to 0. This is basically pointing to the extreme right position, okay? Extreme right position, this position. So first of all we are assigning the value 0 to it. I am assuming that this value 0 is fixed now, and I will call the same function, recursive call, with the n equal to n minus 1, reducing the size of the bits. Suppose initially I had taken 3 bits here, so now you will be passing 2 to this function. So binary of 2 will be the call. Getting the point? Which means you have completed this task. Now you are waiting for the task to be completed on this size, this problem, okay? Or suppose initially I took 0. Now I can have another path, that is I can initialize this bit to 1. So I can also initialize this bit to 1, okay? And once you initialize this bit to 1, so you have to complete the remaining task in similar order. So binary, again the same call, binary on the remaining bits, so n minus 1, right? So I hope you just got a brief idea about what is happening. Let us discuss this in more detail. Alright, so what we can see is, basically, suppose this is the code. Now we will just trace the recursion tree corresponding to this specific code. How things are actually working, we will see in detail. So let me take the green pen. Okay, fine. So suppose this is our code, okay? I have made a call binary 3, okay? Suppose I have received 3 bits from the user and I am calling binary 3. So let me reduce the size. Alright, so binary 3, okay? So when binary 3 is called, remember within this function I have 5 tasks to perform. What are the 5 tasks? This is your task 1. You have to check whether n is less than 1. What is task 2? If you go to the else part, then this will be the task 2, initializing n minus 1 to 0. Task 3, calling binary of n minus 1. Task 4, array of n minus 1, initializing it to 1, and binary of n minus 1 is called again. Task 5. So that is why I have 5 cells corresponding to each call of binary. So first, basically when binary 3 is called, this particular line represented by L1, okay, will be executed. So L1 means if n less than 1. So what is the answer? The answer is false. Why? Because we have n as 3 and here n less than 1. So basically the answer is false. So this will not be executed further. We will come to the else part. Now inside else part there are these 4 tasks to be performed, right? So the first thing I will do here is array of n minus 1 equal to 0. So array of n minus 1, n is 3, so array of 2 will be initialized to 0. Got the point? The next task to perform is task 3, which says that binary of n minus 1. So again there will be a call on binary. So binary of 2, there will be a call on the binary function, right? So again this is a recursive call. So again I have to expand this. So when you expand its node, what will happen? Again you know that binary, this is a function and it has to perform 5 tasks. So it will start from beginning. Task 1, which says that if n less than 1, so basically line 1, okay, I'm writing L1 because of short of space. So L1 basically will be executed and the result will be false. Why? Because n is 2 here and it is not less than 1. The remaining tasks are task 2, task 3, task 4 and task 5 under the else part. Under the task 2, what will we do? Array of n minus 1 equal to 0, which means array of, let me reduce the size of the pen, which means array of n minus 1 means array of 1 is equal to 0. Got the point? Array of 1 will be 0 here. Again there will be a third time, again third task will be executed. What is that? Array of binary of n minus 1. So again we are making a call, binary on 1. Okay, binary of 1, there will be a call. Now since it is a new call, again it is a recursive call, right? So again we have to expand this node. If we expand this node, again it will check the first point, if n less than 1 or not. So definitely n is not less than 1, the condition is false. Under second part, we have to initialize array of n minus 1 equal to 0. So n is 1, so basically in this point, array of 0 will be initialized to 0. Okay, array of 0 will be initialized to 0 here. Similarly, the third task is binary of n minus 1. So basically we are doing a call here on binary of 0. What about this task? Again we know that after this call we are going to put array of n minus 1 equal to 1, which means array of n minus 1. n minus 1 means 1 minus 1 is 0. We will be putting it as 1. And again we will do a binary call because of this on n minus 1, which is nothing but 0. And we know that binary call of 0 will be, if it is less than 1, it will print the array. So it will basically print. So we are executing line 2 here, okay? We are executing line 2 here. Fine. Similarly, when the control comes back here, because all the task of this particular call is executed, control comes back here. Now it will expand this node. Here what we have to do, basically, this will be basically the fourth task, right? Task 4. Task 4 is array of n minus 1 equal to 1. So array of n minus 1, n is 2, so 1 is equal to 1, right? 2 minus 1 is 1 equal to 1. So this is what will be initialized here. And again the fourth task is task 5, right? Task 5. So binary of n minus 1. So again they are giving a call, binary of 1. I hope you are understanding how the recursive calls are being generated. Because of short of space, things are quite jumbled up, but I hope you are getting the intuition what is actually happening. Now since again there is a recursive call where the value of n is 1, so I will again expand its nodes, expand its branches, and the first task inside this call will be to execute line 1. So again line 1 will give false. Why? Because line 1 says if n less than 1, but here n is equal to 1, so it will be false. Line 2 will basically initialize the value of array to array of 0 as 0, right? Because n minus 1 equal to 0. N is 1, so 1 minus 1 is 0 equal to 0. Again we will be having a call here of binary 0. Again this point we are giving array of 1 as array of 0 as 1, and at this particular node we are doing a binary call, we are doing a recursive call on b0, right? Because n is 1, so n minus 1, call on n minus 1, b0. Got the point? So since we made a call of b0, so this will immediately return it will print the size of the array L2. Sorry, not the size but the array, whatever changes we have made so far, that will be printed here. It will go back, it will execute this line, and again it will go back, it will come here and execute this line. So this line again will print L2. Got the point? Now all the tasks under this call is completed. We came back, all the tasks under this particular point is also completed, right? So we come back. Once we come back at this point, now it's time to expand the nodes of this call. Okay, so basically this under this call we have already performed the task 1, task 2 and task 3. What is the task 4? Task 4 basically says array of n minus 1 is equal to 1. So basically here we are giving array of 2 is equal to 1, and then the task 5 says binary call on n minus 1. So binary call on 2. Got the point? So if you see carefully, this particular call and this particular call are same. So it is quite probable, okay, things will be quite similar from here onwards. Okay, so you can just trace the tree accordingly, and you will find that 1, 2, 3, 4 strings are printed, okay, from this particular path, and similarly here also you will get 4 strings. So in total we will get 8 strings, and I hope you got the intuition about how things are actually working, okay, in generating the binary, all the possible binary strings of the array. The only logic to keep in mind is we are going to consider, suppose we had 3 bits, bit 1, bit 2, bit 3. We had 3 bits, right? Bit 1, bit 2 and bit 3. Bit 1, bit 2, bit 3. Okay, so first of all you will initialize this to 0. Then we will call the same function binary on the remaining 2 bits, n minus 1 bits. Okay, and things will be repeated. And the next task is this, since we have taken 0 first, so it can be 1 also, right? We have two possible paths. So we will take 1 and then we will call on the remaining 2 bits. So basically you see this, basically if this represents the binary on n, this particular thing represents array of n minus 1 equal to 0, this represents array of n minus 1 equal to 1, this represents binary call on n minus 1, and this represents binary call on n minus 1. Getting the point? So basically we have to use this 4 lines in our codes, and things will take place accordingly, right? So that is what we had done here. Clearly it can be seen that we had taken the code as follows. We had taken this as the base condition, because we know that once we reach the bit extreme left of the bit, basically that's all we have to print the values of the array now. Array is taken global for this reason only. We have defined that we have kept the array global for this particular reason. Every time the array's value will get modified, right? Array n minus 1 is equal to 0. Yes, we did this. Then we did a recursive call on the final function binary. Again we are taking array of n minus 1 is equal to 1, right? Because the possible value of the first bit can be 0 or 1. And then again we are doing a binary call on the remaining n minus 1 bits. Fine. So this is how the code actually works. Let me quickly run this code. Here is the code, the same code I have used for explanation. So if I just run this code, alright, so it is asking for the number of bits to enter. Suppose I take 3, then we can clearly see these are all the possible combination of 3 bits, right? These are all the possible combination of 3 bits, and total 2 cube is equal to 8 bits. 8 possible strings are available here, right? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So this is how we can generate all the possible strings that can be made using n bits with the help of recursion and backtracking. So I hope this video was quite intuitive. In case of any comments, please in case of any doubt, please post your doubts in the comment section. I know that this video, the diagram were quite rough, but the main objective was to give you an intuition about how things are working. So that's it from my side. Thank you, and please like, share and subscribe.